a couple of things online, a couple of things that I was talking about, a couple of things I was looking at and mentioning. And I just want to pretty much come to you and have a conversation about what has been going on last week, basically, with Malik Yoba and that whole situation. I know there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend in this sector of YouTube. There's a lot of things going on where people are talking about things that really isn't that important, at least to me. But I really want to talk about, the whole attraction thing with Malik Yoba. Hey, oh no, baby, how you doing, sweetheart? What's up, True Slayer? How you doing? But let's talk about trans attraction and the different definitions and different things like that about what trans attraction is and things like that. Um, First, let me say that a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, it's not, I should say, me and Ms. D. Ramsey had a conversation about sexuality and attraction. And in that conversation, I made mention to the fact that I am attracted to everyone, basically. I, I'm attracted to men, I'm attracted to women, I'm attracted to transsexuals, male and both female. And it is so much more than a conversation that we had. To me, that was an introduction of what was going on and what we were talking about. That conversation that me and Ms. D. Ramsey had was a conversation about sexuality and our bisexuality and how that was. Hey, Eddie Pillar, how you doing, sweetheart? And that was an introduction to the conversation that I really want to have with you guys. Um, my attraction isn't about a sexual desire for a specific person or a specific type of person. My attraction is towards the spirit, the soul, the individual. And it doesn't matter what sexual organ an individual has, I will make do to please the person that I'm with based on my attraction to that individual. So it's not about, something that is, oh, well, I see an attractive guy, it's okay, and I'm going to go after him. Or I see an attractive female, and I go after her. It's not about that. And when I say that I'm attracted to transsexual people as well, is that I'm attracted to the spirit of that individual. I'm attracted to the presence and essence of that individual. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the organ itself. It has to do with the person and the spirit of that individual. And I was listening to Malik Yoba's Breakfast Club interview, and there was a couple of good points that he made that I wanted to touch on and kind of expound upon and give you my opinions on those things. First off, the Breakfast Club interview had David Johns, who is a founder of Civil Rights and Equal um, organization that basically helps the LGBTQIA community of color. There was Carmen Carrera. We know her from RuPaul's Drag Race stuff. I think she pretty much transitioned on camera, basically. There was a young lady named Nala Simone Toussaint, which is a trans woman who is also very successful in her career in the health field. And of course, there was Malik Yoba. With these people, or these guests on the show, they had a conversation that's basically was based around Malik Yoba coming out saying that he was trans attracted. Hey, Raphael, how you doing, sir? And it was so much more than just a conversation about him liking trans women. His whole point of that conversation that he wanted to make clear is that he liked people. He loved people. And he loved females. If you're a cisgender female or if you're a transgender female, he loves females in general. And these terminologies that we throw around so effortlessly and no one really understands what these terminologies are or these terms are, I kind of want to break a couple things down right quick. Cisgender is something that a lot of people are confused with. Cisgender is someone who identifies with the identity and sex that they were assigned at birth. So if you are a male who was born a male and you identify as a male, you will be considered cisgender. If you are a female who was born a female and was assigned the female identification at birth, you then are identified as a cisgender female. Aspect and the realm of what society have done for us and what society has said to us and what society has made us to be. We also get so caught up in the fact that things may not look the way we want them to look. People do not respond and react the way we want them to respond and react. A lot of us actually put people in boxes and allow people to put us into boxes in order to make them comfortable, so they can know how to deal with us or handle us or treat us. As you guys know, I am very big on not allowing people to put me into a box. I'm very big on not allowing people to tell me who I am or what I am. What's up, so blessed baby? How you doing? I am very big on making sure that I am comfortable within my own skin and I'm my most authentic person so that I can give you guys and give the world my most authentic self. I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now on these YouTube streets. I know a lot of stuff going on. A lot of mess stuff happens over the past week or so, and I know I was a part of that aspect. But tonight I want to switch it up a little bit just to let you guys know. You know what I'm saying? Let's really dive into some real commentary and some real conversations with one another. It's so much more out here than what's going on these virtual streets of YouTube. There's so much more going on, so much many more conversations that need to be had, opposed to worrying about who said what and who said whom to who threatened who's trying to come up with someone else's name, things like that. What we really need to be having about these conversations that's going on right now, and this is one big topic that needs to be discussed, I think, especially within our community. Because as times are changing, we are really um, coming to a point to where we need to make a decision of who we're going to be. Who is it that we want the world to see us as? And that has something to do with these YouTube streets as well. If we are someone that is honest and true to who we are and our most authentic self and all aspects of that, we are going to show the world that we're not going to allow anyone to define us. And what's brave about, hey Tessie, how you doing, sweetheart? Hey Mary Williams, how you doing? What's so brave in the industry knew what was going on with him. His friends knew what was happening with him of far his attraction towards trans women. He felt compelled to be honest enough, not only with himself, but with the world, to allow the world to see him as who he truly is. And that what makes him brave. Not the fact that he came out and said, oh, I like trans women, but the fact that he came out and said, I'm unafraid to admit and to show you who I am. And part of me is the fact that I like transgender women. The conversation has become so skewed and so muddy about us being able to identify with who we truly are at our core, that we're not able to show the world who we are at our core. So the world get this representative of who they think we are, opposed to seeing who we truly are. A couple things I jotted down during this interview with Malik Yoba on the Breakfast Club was a couple things I want to make very interesting. They mentioned that the term coming out is something that is not quite the right vocabulary, because they say that in the black and brown community, coming out is not the same as it is in the white community. Coming out in the white community, you get to go to places that accept and appreciate you for being who you are, for coming out. Like they mentioned Boys Town in Chicago, they mentioned West Hollywood and California, LA. They mentioned Castro in San Francisco. They mentioned a couple of other places across the country where it is really prevalent that the white gay culture is accepting and rewarding and fulfilling for each other. Opposed to in the black community, whatever, or in the black and brown communities, you have to actually go back to that place where you was trying to escape after you done came out. If you haven't escaped, I'm not, the word escape is so harsh and so, what's I'm looking for? So just aggressive. I think escape is really harsh, whatever, but still it is like an escape, because if you came out of something, well, it's not, you don't want to go back to something held against you in turn. um so yeah, hey Nixie, Nick, how you doing, baby? And so he said that what the privileges and things that we have experienced in the black community as far as the LGBTQIA community was not in the black community is not the same experience as the white community, and they take advantage of revolutionary acts and things that has been started by black and brown people. Like they mentioned, there would be no gay pride. There will be a lot of gay right organizations that wouldn't have been started without the predecessors. There would be no Stonewall. So with Sylvia Riviera as well. These people are people that you really don't hear too much if you're not part of the LGBTQIA community and you haven't done your research on these two women. They were women that was of black and brown and trans experience that actually started the revolution and started gay pride. Basically, was not, saying that was the catalyst of that whole movement, this whole thing that's going on. So that was something that they brought up that I thought was really interesting to mention on the Breakfast Club, because as we know, the Breakfast Club is basically a platform for hip hop and cultural events and cultural movements and things like that. And I think the whole trans movement is a cultural movement because people are becoming very much more aware and very much more less offended by it. While it still have a very long way to go, it's more open now than it has ever been. And that is a good thing, but there's still a very long way to go, because they also mentioned that two people, a 17-year-old, I forgot the name they mentioned, was murdered and killed, and a 21-year-old person was killed in Florida as well. And it was just something that is horrific. And we know that, in this world, that a lot of black and brown trans people are being murdered at astronomical rates, and no one is saying anything about it. It's not being something that is being discussed. It's not something that is being talked about. It's not something that is actually being, spoken about. It's being hush hush. No one's talking about it. No one's actually doing anything about it, basically, because they think that they're the trans community is disposable, which they're not. They're human beings. They're someone that is actually someone's children, someone's mother, someone's fathers, at times. Brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, things of that nature. And one thing they mentioned also that was really good, that I thought was really prevalent in the conversation, was that Nala said um, people need to start realizing that there are cisgender women who are giving birth to these transgender children. And when people start thinking about it like that, it becomes a very, very simple aspect. Was not like, that's your child. That's someone that you brought into this world, and that experience of having that trans experience is something that needs to be talked about and discussed amongst family members and amongst a family. And the fact that, they need love as well. They need acceptance. They need appreciation. They need gratification and glorification as well, just like all of us do. And the fact that I think that Malik Yoba was someone that, we all know there's a couple of people out there that has been rumored to, like, as they call them, the girls, or transgender women, or trans experience women. Sorry, women of trans experience, I should say. Um, it is something that's not really talked about in the black community. People know about it. People may have heard rumors. People may have seen things. Well, it's not, may have assumed things, but it's not something that has been actually talked about. Hey, Miss Parker, what's up, baby? How you doing? And I think that it's something that is really something that needs to be explored a little bit more and talked about a little bit more. I think that when we start these conversations and these um, comments and things like that, people will be more open to ask questions or have discussions about what it is that, you know, their point or preview is on the subject matter. I know that we all want to be accepted. Well, it's not. We all want to be accepting of everyone, but at the same time, are we willing to talk about it? Are we willing to discuss it in open forums, opposed to behind closed doors and things of that nature? So I just found that it was really interesting that it was something that was really a hot topic in the social media, was not, but it was very little being spoken about it, nonsense and the mess of what was going on this side of YouTube. That conversation, which I think is a really important conversation, was not being had, was not being talked about, was not being discussed. And I'm just one person. Like I said, I like the variety of different things as far as conversations and topics to talk about. And like Malik Yoba was, like I said, I am attracted to people. I'm attracted to a spirit of a person. and what you have between your legs has nothing to do with me. I'm going to make do with what is there, and enjoy and have you enjoy as well what's going on. But that has nothing to do with anything. It's not about the sexual aspect. It's about the attraction, spiritually, emotionally. You know what I'm saying? The physical is something that is like icing on a cake for me. It's more about having a connection with someone, what you're attracted to. And I think that Malik Yoba made it very evident, very poignant point that his attraction is towards women of all experiences. You know, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna come to you guys with just a quick little conversation about that and let you guys know about what Malik Yoba said. If y'all want to check out the interview with Malik Yoba on the Breakfast Club, you should definitely check it out. It's about an hour and 12 minutes long. Um, it's a really prevalent conversation. It's really something that's good. Hey Tessie, how you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, ask your question, baby. Ask your question. Yeah, it's just that something that people like. I think we get so caught up in the whole physical aspect of attraction that we don't really think about, saying the emotional and the spiritual connections that people have amongst each other. Well, it's not. And I just think that, something that we need to talk about and discuss a lot more than just, it's okay, baby. I'm here. It's a lot more, saying than just that, it's so much more than just what someone has between their legs, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's so much more about a spiritual, a mental, emotional connection with people in that aspect. And I just think that, it's a conversation that needs to be had. It's a conversation that we as human beings need to learn before we can evolve past where we are right now. Um, do I think that what Caitlyn Jenner, then Bruce Jenner, did to his wife was emotional abuse? I think that if as she as Bruce Jenner knew what her true identity was, but was too afraid to actually live in that true identity, I think it was unfair. I don't think that it was emotional abuse. I think that it was unfair. I think that it was something that, as Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn was battling with. I think there's something that being the All American guy on the Wheaties box was a reputation that it was hard to break away from based on where society was at that time. I think that it was something that was, if he knew that, if she knew his, that's it's hard. If Caitlyn knew, as Bruce Jenner, her real identity was not, and didn't live in that true identity, I think it was more unfair to her than it was emotionally abusive. Do I think it was unfair? Yes, I think it was totally unfair to actually allow yourself to live that type of life for so long, involving so many other people in that lie, in that deception. So I think it was unfair. I think it was wrong. But at the same time, it's not my place to pass judgment on anyone for living their truth and their life as they know it in that moment, if that makes sense. I mean, I understand, like, the thing is, I also got to put myself in a place of if I was a female, a cisgender heterosexual female, and thought that I was with a cisgender heterosexual male, the complete truth and being totally honest with me was not, I would feel some kind of way about that. So I kind of understand how women are more apt to think that it was emotional abuse or it was completely wrong and unfair and unjust. But at the same time, being someone who tries to understand the whole gamut of a situation, the totality of it, I think that it is more or less, it's very deep. It's very personal. It's something that I don't. Exactly. Exactly. It's like being cheated out of your dream life. It's like, you thought that you had this cisgender heterosexual male, this American hero, this iconic figure for all these years, and come to find out that they were living a lie behind your back. They were living a second life. They were basically feel like you were being played, and that's not something that no one wants to ever feel. But like I said, emotional abuse. I don't think it's emotional abuse. I think that it was just unfair. I think it was unfair. Mary Jane on deck, baby. We're not here for the mess, baby. This is a serious topic. Yeah, we're not here for the mess right now, sweetheart. Um, yeah, it is. Tessa, you're right. Like that's why, like I said, I'm very comfortable with who I am. I've always been very comfortable with who I am and my sexual appetite and my sexual identity. So when I said that I came out a couple videos back, whatever, what I'm saying, it wasn't for anyone, but the fact that I was just with so much going on was not on these YouTube streets, whatever, what I'm saying. I don't want anyone to think they had anything on me. So it's like um that I want to make sure that I am always as honest with myself as I am with everyone else. And everyone else parts happen to be my real life people that knew me growing up, whatever the case may be. And the reaction and response to that was, okay, so why was I invited to the wedding type of thing, It wasn't as if it was some huge secret or whatever. It wasn't as if I was trying to hide anything or hide anything from anybody. Like I said, my family met my husband. My family been to my home before, so it was like they knew what was up, but it was never discussed. I just put it on the table. But back to the topic at hand. Remember, Jane, you asked what's the topic? It's just attraction, whatever. And we talk about the Malik Yoba topic. We're talking about how I think that he was brave for coming out the way he did, having the conversation and discussion that was had on the Breakfast Club with him and David and Carmen Carrera and Nala Toussaint. You know, I have real commentary. I have real topics and real thoughts and stuff like that. And there's so much more than just what's going on these YouTube streets. My life is much more than that. I have a very vast, you know, array of topics I can talk about and things I can do. Yeah, he was very brave, Tessie. I think that, you know, I think that a lot of the spread of HIV in the black community was a cause because people aren't being honest with themselves. These are married men who have been told that being a same sex loving person was wrong and you were burning hell for it. So they was forced to live a certain life that they may not have chose to live. And in doing so, they was um, going out of their desire. I mean, going out to feed their desires that they had, and actually got into situations where they shouldn't be put themselves in, which allowed them to put. That's how things happen. Really crazy, Just to me, it's really crazy, and I appreciate his honesty as well. His honesty was refreshing from a black man because you don't want to feel like you're the only person out here being honest with yourself and honest with the world, and you feel like you're the lone wolf because a lot of people was not think that as little black boys, you're raised to not cry, not show emotions, not be soft, not do these things, whatever the case may be. And then the fact, or your partner, whoever you're with, you're expected to have the skill set and the tools you need to show emotional growth and things like that when you haven't been able to practice or even deal with those things. So I think that that's what people like a lot of things that we don't do as a community that we don't allow our young black boys to express themselves. We don't allow our young black boys and our young black men to be able to be who they are without feeling like they're being judged. I think that a lot of people think that um, if little boys cry, that makes them soft. Not realizing that to me that cleanses your soul when you cry. Now I don't cry often, but I will tear up every once in a while. It's not just because whatever the case may be. And it's like, to me, that's soul cleansing. That is something that is refreshing and just getting away all the toxicness. You're right. Oh no, and thank you for being here, sweetheart. I love you to death. He could have definitely pulled a Bobby Valentino, was not denied everything, ran out the room with his drawers on, although the person had his wallet, whatever the case may be. I think that people are so caught up in what people may think of them or how they may look to the world or to their family members or whoever small world or large part of the world they are viewed in, that they choose to do things in the dark. And when you do things in the dark, you're not as safe, you're not as comfortable to do things like that. So I think that a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, for example, was not a lot of men in general, whatever, have the experience of loving women of a trans experience, whatever, but they're not willing to admit that because they think that it takes away their masculinity, it takes away their man card, and they don't know how society will identify them. If you like women, you like women. If they are trans or one of the trans experience, or if they are cisgender women, women, whatever, the fact that you love a woman, it really is very multifaceted. Tessie, it's something that needs to be. That's why I said the conversation needs to be had because a lot of people really don't have the verbiage, don't have the vocabulary, don't have the insight to actually talk about or do what it is that they do in order for this to be a healthy conversation. A lot of people don't understand that it's so much more than just, oh, I am attracted to someone and what's between their legs. Attraction, like, I mean, if you was to ask a cisgender heterosexual individual, you just always known. You know, I mean, at what point is it that, oh well, I saw a big dick and I was enthralled, or I saw a pretty pussy and I was just enthralled. I tasted it for the first time and I was just in love with it. No, it's not that. It's something more. It comes before the even actual aspect or the actual um experience of experiencing the same sex. Is just something that you feel within your bones. Like me, I always know that I was attracted to everyone. You know, like I said, I didn't have my first experience with a guy, but I knew I was attracted to guys. I found guys attractive, just like I still find women attractive. You know what I'm saying? And I can be with a woman or a man. You know, and it's something that is not something that I can pinpoint when. You know, I can tell you when I had my first experiences with the different sex as well as not, but I can't pinpoint the attraction and when that was. You know what I'm saying? Well, the thing is, just like with anything, I think that when a discussion needs to be had, when people are ready to have that discussion, I think that if a child comes to you and asks you questions, you should have the language and the vocabulary and the insight and the knowledge to be able to answer those questions. Now, so sit someone down and have a question was not when they didn't ask the question, I think that would be inappropriate. But if a small child or a young child come to you and ask a question and say, I have these feelings, I have these thoughts, what I'm saying, I think that as adults, we part of our job is to make sure that we have the conversation and have the tools we need to have an informed conversation and to have something they can have something to take away from. It's not always about us being comfortable all the time. Sometimes we need to just be able to have the tools and the um, knowledge. Confused when they think that you're sitting down with a small child and having a conversation with a small child just because you know you want to talk about it. I think that there's a time and place, like let's talk the birds and bees conversation that we all have had. My mom sat down with me when I was young. I was probably 8 or 9 years old when we had the first conversation about difference between guys and girls and sex and stuff like that. But I was ready to have a conversation at that time. you know, I understood it. I grasped what she was saying. What I'm saying, I understood what was going on. It answered a lot of questions for me that I didn't know that I had at that age. But at the same time, if someone's not ready for it, they're just not ready for it. Yeah, yes, he's like, I mean, he's like me. Like, people don't understand that, people who are attracted to life pretty much are attracted to life. And whatever forms it comes into, they grab it by the horns and enjoy it. Like, and as a black man, I'm told that's not right. That's not correct. That's not cool to do. um, Cali Shay High School. Yeah, I mean, but like I said, there's a point. Like, sometimes there's have to be. It's not about our comfort level. It's about making sure that we have the tools and the knowledge to have a conversation with the people who want to have a conversation with us, especially if it's our child. You know, because we need to be able to send them out to the world as knowledgeable and as prepared as possible. People get in trouble when they don't have the knowledge, when they don't have the tools. People get in trouble when they don't have the understanding and the respect to have a conversation with one another. And sometimes you have to be uncomfortable for you to grow. Like, when you have a tooth that's knocked out of your mouth, when that tooth start growing back into, I mean, to start cutting through your gums, was that it hurts like a baby. They're uncomfortable when they start teething because their teeth are breaking through the surface to be exposed. And while that little bit of uncomfort is there, what is happening is that your body is preparing itself to give you the nutrients and nourishment that you need in order for you to grow and be strong and be healthy. Same thing with conversations was. Now, sometimes it makes you uncomfortable. But once you break that surface and work through that little bit of pain that you have, and that discomfort, you have the tools you need to be a better individual. You have the tools you need to make sure that you are doing what you need to do in order for you to be the best person that you are meant to be. And really, that should be all of our purposes. Our purpose should not be to see who is the messiest, who can have the most clicks and views, who can, read the best and the fastest, and who can throw out the most mud and sling out the most nonsense and bull BS. Well, it's not. It should be, our purpose should be to be the best person that we can be and gather in as much information as possible to be that. Along the way, yes, there's gonna be some pettiness and some messiness involved, because y'all know me. I like a little bit of petty, a little bit of mess. But at the same time, y'all also should know by now that I also like to inform. I also like to think critically. I also like to use my artistic talents. Well, it's not. We should be well-rounded individuals. We should be well-rounded individuals. Was that have, you know, thoughts and ideas outside of the realm of, ooh, what am I going to do today to cause some trouble, or what am I going to do today to combat the mess that I'm in or got myself in, or how can I turn the spotlight off of me because I'm saying I'm into some nonsense right now. So that's why I think that conversations like this need to be had. Conversations like this need to be discussed, and it's out there in the world. There's so many different topics and ways you can go with this conversation that it makes no sense to me. Hey, review, baby. How you doing, sweetheart? Fine, I hope. But yeah, you're talking about Malik Yoba and his trans attraction and what that means and how it translates to the world and things like that. You know, it's really something that needs to be discussed. I think that is, I mean, although I think a couple people have touched on it, I don't think anyone really had a true conversation about it. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone's been caught up in all the mess that's been. We're back. Okay, I'm sorry. We just take it for a second, y'all. Sorry about that. And yeah, it's just that, I think that it's a conversation that needs, and I think that is a conversation that needs to be had not only with people like myself, but with heterosexual women, heterosexual men, cisgender women, trans um, experienced people. So they also needs to be having this conversation, whatever. Because I think it's something that needs to be discussed on all levels and all facets, because it's so much more than just, oh, who someone is attracted to or what someone is doing. It's so much more than just allowing someone to, speak their opinions. It's about actually having a conversation with one another. It's about actually getting to know different aspects and thoughts, processes, and things like that. Some of the people, you're absolutely right. Some of the people as well, like yourself, Miss Pam. you know, because I mean, Just because you're celibate doesn't mean that you don't have sexual attraction toward people or sexual desires. It just means that you have chose not to embark on or intake on that aspect while it's not. And also with that, speaking of that, Miss Pam, question is that people will say, like, people have questions such as, if you haven't never had sex with a male, if you're a male, but you have attraction to that male, do that make you gay? Same thing with females. If you have sexual attractions to females but never had an experience with a female, does it make you a lesbian? And those are the type of questions and those are the type of conversations that we need to have to really better understand and broaden the horizons of the LGBTQIA community. Because we, as part of the members of that community, was not, we can talk about our experiences, but even me talking about my experience being someone who is sexually attracted, physically attracted, emotionally attracted, spiritually attracted to everyone. I'm just one individual. I'm just one speck of sand on the beach. I'm just one person that can't identify or talk about everyone else's experiences, because I don't want anyone talking about experiences that does not, you know, answer for me. Like, there's, as you all know, there's a lot of us on this platform that actually fits in the same category: being black, being man, being a cisgender male, being gay, being a YouTuber. Was that all we have? Understand? And there's some of us who are designers, some of us who live in Atlanta. So there's a lot of us that live in this confines of, can be put into a group, but we're all totally different. You know what I'm saying? We all have different aspects of our personalities, all thoughts of the world, and things of that nature. Was not. So I don't ever want anyone to think that they can speak for me, and nor do I try to ever speak for anyone else. When I talk to you and come to you, I just come to you as one person. I come to you as Food Junkie, and I speak on my experiences, and that's it. And hopefully you leave with a little bit of something that helped you grow and helped you expand your horizons. Because as y'all remember, my whole purpose from the very beginning is to think critically and to spark conversations about different topics and have you look at things a different way and grow from that. It's not about me, you know what I'm saying, being able to be the baddest person up on here, or me being the most fierce reader, or to be the most nastiest, the most pettiest person on here. As y'all know, I'm extremely petty and extremely messy when I want to be. But that's not where I live. Where I live is in a critical frame of mind where I like to analyze what's going on around me to get a better understanding of what it is that make the world tick, so I can know how I need to move through it. I think someone said a while ago on here that, hey, Miss Leo, baby, how are you doing? Welcome, sweetheart. I think that someone said on here once before that, I think it was Johnny Mack. He said that when he was working at his job, he actually will learn his guidelines and protocols, so he knows how he can maneuver through those protocols and with those protocols. And if he steps out of boundaries or out of lines, how he can make sure that he correct himself and not get caught up in a situation. It was something like that he said. But I thought about that as well. Like, as you know, saying that's how I live as well. That's how I always wanted to live. I never want to be that person to not know what's going on around me. Because if I know what's going on around me, I know how to get myself out of trouble if I ever happen to get in trouble. But that's another topic for another day. But back to the whole conversation we were having about the trans attraction and attraction in general. When it comes to attraction, whatever, you really can't say. I mean, you can say the physical attributes that start off the attraction, but you can also, but you don't know that chemical imbalance, that chemical balance that someone has, that makes you truly attracted to them. And it doesn't matter what form it comes in. For me, I should say, it has something. A different thing they said called intersex. Intersex is what we used to refer to. Hey, TC baby, how you doing? Um, Intersex is what it's called now, but back in the days it was called hermaphrodites, where people were born with both sexual organs, and at birth or as a small child, or the young person, I should say, they were assigned a gender, and they were basically told what they were, opposed to them having to experience and living to experience what they want to be, you know what I'm saying, type of thing, or who they truly are, based on their thoughts and feelings, whatever. But yeah, it was just, the conversation was really interesting. I think that it was having, it just brought up a bunch of points that I think that something that people could have branched off on and talked about, because it's more than just, saying Malik Yoba been attracted to transgender women or women of trans experience. It's so much more than just, someone, you know, liking someone of, saying the same sex or opposite sex or thing. The conversation is so much more than that. It's so multifaceted that this conversation could be had all day long for weeks and weeks and weeks and months on end, type of thing. But yeah, I just want to come to you guys and talk to you guys about that, about Malik Yoba and that whole conversation and the interview and my thoughts on it, and get some thoughts from you guys. Oh no, had a good point. Miss Tessie had a good point, and Miss Pam had a good point. What I'm saying, it's just that it's about sparking a conversation. That is allowing your mind and brain to think differently and move differently than what society has told you to think and how it is to think. Because just because you are a male, it doesn't mean that you always have to do what is thought of as male activities and male things. So because you're a female, you don't always have to just do and abide with what is known or thought to be female traits and attributes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and if you know who you are at your core, it doesn't matter what they have assigned you at birth or when you were a baby on those papers. It's who you know who you are. And there's a lot of cultures out there that actually have multi um, definitions for gender. I know in the Indian culture, it is looked as dual spirits if you are a person of trans experience, because you looked at as highly favored because you have two spirits within you that live within inside of you. Well, it's not, and it's something that is looked favorably upon. I know also in the Samoan culture or the island culture, as far as the Samoans and things of that nature, is also looked as very highly favorable and very acceptable for people to be of trans experience, because it's also looked at something that you've been blessed with two spirits that live inside you as now, which means you're doubly blessed. It's just that here in this in this country, in this culture, was not. We have been told that things are just black and white, not realizing there's a multitude amount of shades of gray within there. Sure, sweetheart, we can tell me, Tessie, what you want to discuss, sweetheart. It's just that it's just like we are so like we are one of the most openly sexual, openly sexualized, openly, overtly sexual cultures in this country, cultures in this world, but we also one of the most repressed and, shut down and shut in type of sexual people as well. It's funny to me, like I don't understand that. We can have sex on TV all day long for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but yet we can't talk about it. We can look at it. We can have a sex shop on every corner. We can have, sex toys being promoted left and right. Well, it's not objects all around the world. I mean, all around the streets with sexual elements to it, but yet we can't discuss or have a conversation about it. It's like, we can see it, but we can't discuss it. We can experience it, but we can't discuss it. It's like, I don't understand. I don't understand because it's just not how I live or how I choose to move in this world. You know what I'm saying? I like to be honest with myself. I like to be honest with the people because, because I just think that, it makes no sense that, we as a society, as a culture, you know, overtly talk about sex, overtly show sex, but yet when it comes to actually discussing it and have a logical, intellectual conversation about it, we don't do that. When you say dark side, what do you mean by dark side? She decided to enter the dark side. What dark side? You mean the side of witchcraft and things like that? But yeah, And that Christian thing that you just mentioned, Aunt Tessie, is a good thing because I think that a lot of the Christian values that was forced upon us and our ancestors was not allowed us to lose a lot of our spirituality was not and connectiveness to the source. And I'm saying that God's not the source. I believe in God, and I guess if I will have to identify myself as something, it would be Christian. But I have a more spiritual connection with the higher power than I do a religious connection with the higher power. I'm not a very religious person. Oh, see, that's stupid to me. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Like, see, my thing is, I'm sorry for saying stupid, but yeah, to me, it's like when people start using negative connotations and negative language in order to describe, saying, so, something such as woman to woman love or man to man love or same sex relationships was not. To me, that is something that helped promote that this is wrong. It's not wrong for you to be who you are. If you're not hurting anyone and you're having relationships with consensual adults, it's not wrong for you to be in a relationship with someone that you want to be with, regardless of who it is, as long as they are consenting adults. And it doesn't mean that you love God any less. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that it's some dark side, some dark rabbit hole that you are. It could be a dark rabbit hole depends on what you're talking about. Anyways, I'm being silly now. But it doesn't mean that it is something that is horrible and horrific. Well, it's not. Like and that language itself, I would feel some kind of way about that as well. If someone was talking about a same-sex relationship, sexual relationship, well, it's not, or relationship in general, and you choose to use negative connotations towards it because you're saying that it's bad, you're saying that it's wrong, you're saying that it's not right. And the reality is, it's not that God gave us the ability to make our own decisions. Was not, you know, and the fact that someone would choose to say something like that was not is I think is totally horrific to me because I think that you're saying that that it's wrong. It's basically saying that something is wrong, but you're willing to do it anyway. You know, it's like saying, "Oh, I know robbing the bank is wrong, but I need this money, so I'm going to do it to fulfill my needs." I know that talking bad about somebody and doing something harmful to someone is wrong, but yeah, I'm gonna do it because it gives me gratification. If you know that it's wrong, then I don't understand what the question is. If you feel that it's wrong, I don't understand what the question is. Do people make a habit of doing something that they think is wrong? Do people constantly go out there and do something that they think is wrong, or are you fulfilling your desires of being who you want to be and doing what you want to do? You know, y'all know me. I'm the type of person that will ask for forgiveness before I ask for permission. And y'all know darn well I don't like asking for forgiveness because I don't apologize for anything that I do or have done. Because if I've done it, I meant to do it. So if I am very rarely going to ask for permission or give an apology, I should say, I'm not going to ask for permission for anything that I do. I'm going to be myself and let the cards fall where it's may. And wherever people think that it is, it is. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit up here and worry about what someone else thinks of me. I can't sit here and worry about how someone else is gonna react or respond based on what I do. As long as I know that there's no malicious intent in everything that I do, and as long as I know that whatever I do is going to be with a consenting adult. The key word is consenting. But the thing is, I'm just going by what the conversation that. Hey, Juanita, how you doing, sweetheart? Um, by what Tessie said. I'm not quite sure what she said because I didn't hear it and I didn't hear the conversations of it and I didn't hear the conversation in general. I'm just going by what I was told, and I think it sounded like it was said in a negative way. That's what it sounded like to me, I should say. And understanding the dark side means, I mean, it could be. Some people say it like in a sexual way, well, it's not, or in a very sexy, not sexual, a sexy way, like ooh, the dark side, yeah, ooh, type of thing. But it's more to me that what I'm saying is I don't know. But when she said that she turned away from her values, was not or she turned away from God, I think that is what I more or less was drawn to about the conversation, about the statement, I should say. And while you said, like I said, love covers all sins. We sin every day, all day, willingly. People use the word as a weapon instead of teaching a tool. You're absolutely right, sweetheart. Like exactly. Like I said, people. A lot of people was not want to put you into a box so they can control you, so they know how to interact with you. Was not opposed to allowing you to be yourself and taking you as you are. I think that when people start allowing people to put them into boxes was not or allowing or accepting the boxes that people have put them into, we start to lose a little bit of ourselves every time we accept and acknowledge that was not, opposed to just being who we were meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, be your best self. That should be everyone's goal, to strive to be their best self. Strive to be your best self and have not, and don't have, and, sorry, get tongue tied, and have no malicious intent in what you do or what you say, and just be yourself. As long as you're not hurting anyone, and as long as you're putting forth your best effort each and every time, I think that, we will be in a much better place. I think the problem comes when we try to put our own identities and our own beliefs on other people. I think that the problem comes when we try to force people to believe and think and see things as we see it, opposed to accepting what they say until they do and prove themselves otherwise. I think that, we are a society of, you know, like I said, do as I say and not as I do type of people. We think that we have the answers for everyone, think that everyone can fit into a box, that everyone can be something that we want them to be, opposed to being who they are. And I think that that's where we fall into a lot of problems that we have. Yeah, I kind of got that. I kind of got that testing, like she was walking away from God because she chose to, you know, be her most authentic self. You know, and sometimes, that's what it is. People choose to be their most authentic self, and being that, you don't always necessarily agree with everything that people say or do. But yeah, it's just something that I thought just we need to change up the situation. You're right, Juanita. You're absolutely right, sweetheart. God, the thing is, what people don't realize is that God knows who we are. God has seen the book that we have. Our life is basically has already been written. All we are actors in this situation was not, and even like the decisions that we think we're making on our own was not. God has already seen those decisions was not. He's not telling us what to do, but He knows what we're going to do, and He gives us the option to turn and switch. And opposed to going right, you go left. Opposed to left, you go right. Opposed to going up, you go down. You know what I'm saying? You go zigzag. Opposed to going straight. You know what I'm saying? You make a circle. Opposed to making a square. All those things was not. That's the free will that we have, but it's already known. It's already known. So God knows our heart. God knows what our desires are. He really does. Like, people don't realize that, there's nothing new. There's nothing that. Thank you, Tessie. I appreciate it, sweetheart. It's like there's nothing that is hidden. You know what I'm saying? If we choose to acknowledge it or not, that's something totally different. But there's nothing that's hidden. There's nothing that is so secretive that is not seen by God. We can't hide anything from Him. We can't, or the source, I should say. 'Cause I don't know if it's He or she, or even if it's omnipotent, anything from the source. And our problem is that we get so caught up in trying to do that we think that if we don't tell ourselves the truth, that no one else will see the truth. It's not about that. It's about us actually being able to live up to and live in who we are and what we are. Thank you, Miss Leo, baby. I appreciate it, sweetheart. Yeah, it is our own decision, but like just say, for example, I get deja vu quite often. I'm like, damn, I've done this already. Or shit, I've had the experience of experiencing this already. Well, it's not. And I just chalk that up to, what I'm saying, God has already shown me certain things that I'm saying, that I already need to go and just do out. And you don't realize it until after you actually done it that that's what it was, or at least for me. Exactly. The thing is, I think there's a difference between hate and disliking someone. Like, I don't hate anyone on YouTube. I really don't. Whoever I choose to drag, whoever I choose to read, whoever I choose to skull drag on this thing, I don't hate you. What I want to do is you to change your behavior. That's why I don't really like mentioning people's names too much on YouTube because people think that you are trying to get something from them or you're trying to call them out on something. And I'm not calling out anything was that but the behavior that I've experienced and that I've observed. And that is something that needs to be called out. The behavior of some of the people here on YouTube is what needs to be called out. The individual itself, anyone can do this type of behavior. A lot of people have done this type of behavior, and in doing that type of behavior was not you lose track of actually what it is and who it is that you are. When you're chasing something that truly is intangible, you have to keep on chasing it until it eventually destroys you. And the behaviors that people are experiencing, the behavior that people do, is what I like to comment on and talk about. Wow, Tessie, like to me, that's something that's a whole different topic was not, but that's a good topic to talk about was not because I think that a lot of people was not after trauma has been done to them was not has changed them forever, and they're stuck in that place where that trauma has been done, that place, that mindset where trauma has been done, and they opposed to working through that trauma and living through that trauma was that they choose to create a different persona per se, you know. But yeah, like I mean, it's like I mean, and I think that getting back to the main topic of the conversation that we started was not that I started is that you know with behavior, people want to identify you when you identify yourself as whatever, as far as let's say you are a heterosexual guy who is attracted to a woman of trans experience. They think that that behavior you're looking for something. They automatically go between the conversation automatically happens to draw to what's in between someone's legs, and it's not that. It's the attraction you have to that spirit of a woman, and if someone possesses the spirit of a woman, that's what you're attracted to. It's not about you attracted to something between someone's legs, regardless of what they have in between their legs. It's not important. Yeah, I know a lot of I won't say a lot. I know a handful of women who identify themselves as lesbian now because they had traumatic experiences with men. Some was raped, some was beaten, some was in horrible marriages, was not. Some was not treated well. You know what I'm saying? And they identify as lesbian because they think that what I'm saying because of that experience. You know, yeah, especially if they don't get help, they definitely stay in that place. Um, but yeah, it's like like I said, people want to sit with yourself and with the world. They automatically want to sit there and call you out and call you names, things of that nature, opposed to trying to understand exactly what it is that you're talking about and exactly what it is that you're saying. You know, being a lover of human beings, you're a lover of human beings. You know, and who you choose to sleep with or lie with was not have nothing to do with anything. And I think that's what Malik Yoba was trying to say in his interview. The bottom line is basically that it doesn't matter who he chooses to lie with, and the person if they were cisgender or transgender, it's just the fact that he loved the spirit of women, and he find women beautiful. He find women to be fascinating, and that's what he's attracted to. And if that form of that woman form comes in the form of a cisgender woman or a transgender woman was not, he's willing and open to accept them both. Hey, Seven Stars, what's up, baby? How you doing? We're talking about transgender versus cisgender women and the whole Malik Yoba situation. and my thoughts on that topic. You know, it's something that is really prevalent and that needs to be talked about in this community. I think that's something that opposed to talk about this mess that's going on the YouTube streets right now. We can be talking about some real world topics and discussions and basically get an understanding and clarification on things like that. I hear what you're saying, Seven, but what is the sexuality? Because I identify myself to make everyone else comfortable and have give everyone else a reference point for myself. I'm bisexual. I like women, I like men, and I'm attracted to transgender men and transgender women. But just to make people comfortable with a label was not. I identify myself as bisexual as bisexual. If he considers himself a heterosexual man, that's how he identifies himself. He likes women. He likes women's energy. He likes the transgender woman. He likes the cisgender woman. Doesn't make him anything else, does it? I understand what you're saying. How the lines get blurred and it creates confusion, but confusion to who? Like you being yourself, Seven, being a cisgender woman, is it not possible that he can like you and also like a common career at the same time because you're both beautiful women? Like, is it not possible that a heterosexual man can like a beautiful cisgender woman and a beautiful transgender woman as well? Hello, Indigo. How you doing, baby? Yeah, you're right. But the conversation needs to be had as well because I think that like for Seven's point, I think that her thing is being a cisgender woman was not like I ask people all the time how me and Miss D conversation happened was um I find it very ironic that if a woman chooses to say, "Oh, I was just experimenting with a woman," she's considered, "Oh, well, she was just experimenting with a woman, was not so she's not really gay." But if a man kisses one man, if a man touches one man's booty, he's automatically labeled as gay for the rest of his life. If even if he only done it once. And to me, that's what's confusing and unfair. People should be allowed to experience life as they experience life, and not be labeled to make someone else feel comfortable. Seven, you're absolutely right about that. Why create labels to just to change and whatnot? But did he create the label, or did he or was he labeled, and then he tried to say, and then he's saying now is no, this is who I am. Yeah, that's why I like male and female. Testing because the energy from a man is totally different from the energy from a woman. It's totally different energy. So when people ask me why do I like both or why do I like men and women, well, it's a different type of energy that a man creates that is very attractive to me, and there's a different energy that a woman creates that's very attractive to me. So it's not something that you can say, like I can like I mean like I said in the interview with Ms. D that I had with her, it was that I like the fact that women are beautiful and soft and just who you are, but inside of you was not there's this inner strength that is so attractive and so powerful to me. And for me, it's opposite for men. Men have this outwardly this outwardly strength and earth was not, but inside to once you get to really know them was not. They are soft. They are compassionate. They are passionate. Was not, same type of thing. So it's those type of energy was not that I'm attracted to on both. And my thing is, I'm not going to limit myself or my possibilities to be with someone because of what's between their legs, and how society choose to label me was not to make themselves feel comfortable, have nothing to do with me. And I think that that's what his whole thing was, like that, like he said, when he said he's a heterosexual man, he called himself a cisgender heterosexual man who likes women of the trans experience as well. He didn't just say he likes trans women. He said that he liked, he liked women. He liked women energy. So therefore, if there is a cisgender woman and a transgender woman was not, he would like them both equally if he's attracted to them. And I think that people get confused with thinking that, it means that you're out there trying to find anything and everything that fits that narrative, and you're fucking everything and anything with that. And that's not the case, I don't think, with him or with most people. It's not. You like what you like, and if you find it, you're going to embrace it, and you're not going to turn it away. I don't think that people are trying to do anything, crazy per se. People are too sick of me. Hey, Bear Cubster, how you doing? I know no one sees me. I'm on black screen, baby. I think that conversation like this need to be done where it's not distracted by everything else around. I mean, and I think that the whole thing, like I said, like if you breaking down attraction, because this is about attraction. If you break down attraction isn't about, attraction about, for me, it's about energy and the spirit. It's not about but attraction is basically about energy for me. And the sexual aspect of attraction is something that is worked out when it's time to be worked out. I can appreciate, saying a beautiful person, male or female was not, and I may fantasize about that person, but I won't truly know if there's chemistry there in the sexual aspect until it's time for us to have that chemistry there in that sexual aspect type of thing. And what's between their legs or their sexual organs was not have little to nothing to do with it, because the attraction is there. There's people that you've seen, that you talked to, that you didn't find physically attractive, but there was something about the way they spoke, the way they carried themselves, the way they moved in the world that kind of brought you closer to them in that aspect. See, I didn't watch the Armand Wiggins show on that. I didn't watch that show when he had the with penises, but not all transgender women have penises. You know what I'm saying? So even in that comment right there, I find that kind of be more of a fetish type aspect of the transgender woman, because there's so much more than just um, females that have penises. I think that when you look at a transgender woman, was not the first thing you think of is, oh, I wonder if she has a penis and things of that nature. To me, that's more of a fetish aspect of the attraction, opposed to actually having a true attraction towards a transgender woman, or a woman in general, I should say. Because if you are attracted to the penis and you like someone with a penis with a female energy, was not, and a female look or an appearance, whatever, to me that is a more of a fetish than the actual attraction. But it's not. That's just my thought. If he identifies himself as straight, I guess he's straight. Hey, Shakila, baby, how you doing? I mean, testing things like that is really complicated, and some people are just in the mindset of where they are, and it's okay. But the thing is, the fact is that you're open to try to understand. You're open to you're open to listen to the conversation. You're open to get the verbiage and the words that is needed in order to have a conversation with the next person. And that's what it's all about. It's not about, saying, being able to grasp everything all at once right now in this moment. It's being able to be open enough to have it, listen to it, hear it, think about it. And then the next time you have a conversation with us, now you have a little bit more knowledge. And each time this conversation comes up and you're a part of the conversation, you gain a little bit more knowledge, you gain a little bit more understanding, you gain a little bit more acceptance or not acceptance, wherever is meant for you to gain and to get. But I know that you're a very open person, whatever, and you're a very honest person. So therefore, I think that you're taking everything in with respect and acceptance and appreciation for it, opposed to being judgmental and having malicious intent. So it's not about you understanding everything right now, um, you know, as it is. It's about you being open to the conversation, you being open to the process of understanding what's happening right now. And I think that that's commendable for you. Y'all, hold on a second. Y'all gotta say good night. Good night, everyone. But yeah, it's about that. It's about you being open to the conversation, being open to the language and stuff, so you can be able to talk about it and discuss it in a better aspect, and to gain knowledge along the way. What's your question, Juanita, baby? What's your question? I am bisexual and married, Juanita. I'm married to a man, and I'm bisexual. Bisexuality has nothing to do with who you're actually having sex with at the moment. It has to do, for me, it has to do with who you're sexually attracted to. Me knowing that I am attracted to women has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I'm in a monogamous relationship with my husband. Me being attracted to women has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I've been in a monogamous relationship with my husband for years. Now, how many years? None of your business. But, but yeah, and I also think that it's unfair for me to, first of all, cheat on my husband for one, and two, play with someone else's emotions and have them think and feel and believe that something can happen with us that is more than what it should happen. You know what I'm saying? That's appropriate to happen. It's about having control and restraint. It's not. It's not about you know. For me, being bisexual has nothing to do with actual physical aspect of sex. It has to do with your emotional connection and your sexual attraction toward the same sex and opposite sex. That's what bisexuality means to me. You know, like, yeah. I mean, the thing is, his transgender girlfriend has a have her penis still, but he identifies her as a her. And my thing is that I'm not versed on that. To be honest with you, I'm completely honest with myself to know that that's a battle that I am not. But me being bisexual, if I was to divorce my husband, we was to get divorced. We're not. Knock on wood. You know, um, and I found a physical, sexual, emotional, spiritual connection with a transgender woman who had a penis. That's not something that I per se particularly use on someone else. Well, have them use that on me, I should say, whatever it can be. But if I'm attracted to them, well, it's not, and we have a sexual chemistry, well, it's not, and we happen to be in a relationship, well, it's not, I would still consider her a woman. She just a woman with something extra, you know. I'm not someone who am drawn to that aspect sexually. Was not having it used on me, no. But you know, with my husband, I enjoy, what I'm saying, that aspect of who he is. With a woman, if I'm with a cisgender woman and she doesn't have whatever, I, will enjoy her as well. Like I said, my sexual attraction has nothing to do with what's in between someone's legs. Whatever is there based on my attraction to you, I make do with what I have. um, yeah, I mean, look, the man energy is real nice. I like the masculine aspect of a man's energy. I really do. But that's a little bit more personal than what I want to talk about right now. But I like that energy of a man. But I also like I also like the insight of a man as well. The insight energy. I mean, I mean, there's so many different ways that conversation can be had. On this thing, on the whole aspect of YouTube, was not, especially in this sector. I think that we choose to be who we want the world to see us as. And I want the world to see me as a well-rounded individual. You know what I'm saying? So I try to give you a diverse amount of commentary, a diverse amount of information. I try to just show you guys actually who I am, the good, the bad, and the indifferent at times. And I want people to think that, see me as someone who actually can think outside of a box and actually do more than just roast and gag people while it's not. You know, it takes a little bit more effort to be a general individual opposed to you just doing something to, you know, please the masses all the time. You know what I'm saying? Not because not everything you have to do stuff for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to do stuff to make sure that you are happy and comfortable and you're okay with what you're doing and be able to live with yourself after the fact. Because when these computers goes off and when these cameras go off and lights go off and things like that, you're still stuck with yourself. You're still stuck living with who you are, being who you are. That's why you find so many people on here was not who's constantly on here all day long throughout the day. My question is, why are you on here so much? What are you lacking? What are you missing? Why can't you turn off the camera for a whole for a day and just live your life? You know, it's something that is I don't know. I don't understand it personally. You know, it's one thing when if you're saying doing it for entertainment or something, but it's one thing if you're doing it for acceptance almost. Look at me, love me. I'm right here. Please give me some attention. And I'll give you the most salacious information possible. I will act in the most horrific ways possible just to get some attention from you. I'm not that person, you know what I'm saying? I like to be authentic. I like to make sure that people enjoy me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? Giving you being able to accept what I'm giving you and appreciate that and not being able to actually, do anything else but that. That's just, who I am. And like the conversation, like I said, is about attraction, what's not. And what are you attracted to? And an attraction could be in more than one way, just not just a physical, sexual aspect. It'd be like the attraction to fame, the attraction to money, the attraction to mess. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this conversation can be taken to whole different levels and branched off all different types of ways. Oh yeah, that's why I'm always laughing and smiling, Tessie. I'm constantly laughing and smiling and whatnot. That's why even when I'm on camera, what's not having my face shown, what's not, I like flirting, what's not. That's what keeps me happy. Like to flirt with people, whatever. Um, quick story. I was at work today, and someone was like, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful." Was I? Let me take a picture of you. I'm like, if you don't get the hell out of my face and move on. Of course, I took a picture with her. Well, it's not, but it's like stuff like that was not. Those little things like that in my life helps me to be who I am. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I know who I am. I know what's going on, what's not. So regardless of what people say about me or say to me, whatever, I know what I do. I know I do what I do in the real world, and I know the type of effect I have on people in the real world. My sarcasm is something that people love. My quick wit is something that people love. My dry sense of humor is something that people love. You know what I'm saying? My appearance is what people are drawn to and attracted to. Is that my energy is something that was what people are attracted to and drawn to. And so it's like I don't need to have the admiration of people. Well, it's not because I know that within myself, I know who I am. I've always known that. Well, not always, but from a very, very early age, I've always accepted who I was. So it's hard for someone to break me down, or it's hard for someone to actually tell me what I'm not or who I am. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that with me. I know what I've done. I know what I'm doing. I know what I can do, what I will do. Very much, Bear Cubster. Are you Bear? Let me ask you a question. Are you male or female? You mind me asking? Because I like bears too. I'm just saying. I'm real crazy y'all about that. I have a fantasy about bears. And well, y'all know what bears are. Bears are big hairy men in the gay community. um, for some reason I'm attracted to them as well. I'm attracted to everybody. I'm attracted to people. I'm attracted to different. I like difference. Shakila, you okay, baby? What's going on with you, Shakila? You okay, sweetheart? Yeah, I mean, I'm a chill person. That's what I do. Indigo, you're trying some money, baby. You have a strong connection with money. Hello. I mean, but yeah, it's like like, and like I like to use words and say things was not that have more than one meaning and can be spoke to. There, don't do it, baby. Ooh. Anyways, let me get my mind out the gutter. And you are a bear. See, y'all don't understand. Baby, find the right bear. Mm-mm-mm. Anyway, so my husband's upstairs. I can't be bad. Um, so yeah, it's just that the right. I mean, when you use the word attraction, was that people automatically think physical or sexual attraction was not, but there's also all types of attraction was not. And when you find someone that you are attracted to, you should hold them close. You should keep them close to you. Was not. And when I say attraction, this also can mean a platonic attraction. People, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like I tell people all the time was that what I look for in my friendships are the same things I look for in my relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because in a friendship, I just want to be strictly platonic, but I still need to have trust. I need to have integrity. I need to have understanding. I need to have some type of emotional balance within self was not. I mean, all those things was not. The only thing I'm looking for in a relationship is all those things plus a sexual attraction to someone. That's what I've always done my entire life. Y'all see what he's trying to do, right? Y'all see what he's trying to do, right? Y'all see what he's trying to do. Yeah, we do like the slow burn of torture and joy and pleasure and pleasure. Anyway, so see between that conversation coming right there, and then Bear. Yeah, Bear is busy. He's being real busy right now, and I'm liking every minute of it. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Take that, take that, take that. Take that, Bear. Take that. And see, thing is, cause I told you guys I like men could be slightly smaller than me, but I would prefer you bigger than me because I'm a dominant spirit. That's very much of a very passionate dominant situation. Well, it's not. I want to make sure that what I'm doing, you want me to do, type of thing. Anyways, that's not about attraction. Let's get back on topic. But my mind is always going somewhere. Like I know I'm an artist, so I'm always thinking about something different. But yeah, attraction was like it's just like attraction, whatever. Like, cause me for example, the way I am was not like I said. I am a very even keeled individual, and I get exhausted quickly of nonsense and BS because I don't understand it. Because to me, it doesn't have to be, and I'm not attracted to the BS. That's why you don't see me talking about a lot of stuff that's going on right now on the street because um, it's not important to me. It doesn't make a difference in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I'm attracted to people who are similar as I am. I'm attracted to people who don't mind getting into the fray when they have to be, but at the same time, not allowing the fray to be an aspect of their life that is controlling. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I can be in the mess, but I'm not of the mess. Although I know that I can be very messy and petty when I want to be, but that's only when I'm pushed and shoved to be that and poke that. But other than that, we can talk about this all day long. Like this weekend, I have a couple ideas that I'm gonna do for some content. Well, it's not, and it's involving other aspects of things. It's not about the mess. It's not about anything that's going on, what's happening right now on these YouTube streets. Although I'm watching it all, I don't think that my commentary will be fitting for it because I don't care enough to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, since we're gonna go this route in this conversation, let's switch turns. You know how I do it in my chats. You know, so we can talk about anything and everything all at once. Um, and I'll be bringing back to what the topic was at hand. Begging. I don't want anyone to beg me for anything. I want your body to give me permission to do what I want to do to it. If that makes sense. If that makes sense, you gotta put a one in the chat. I want your body to give me permission to do what I want to do to it. Does it make sense to you? Says don't make anyone mega meals, they can't afford it. I see y'all see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't want someone like if you're begging me for something, I don't like that because it's a sign of weakness. I like the strength, and I like the fact that people give themselves to me, and together we're comfortable, type of thing. It's not something that I I don't want to force anything. Period. In which to perform. And you said you're a lover, not a fighter. Indigo. Thing is, I'm both. And as an Aries, y'all know that, and the Aries know, Tessie knows that we're both. We're both lovers and fighters. We're the protectors, but we're also the lovers of the zodiac sign as well. You know, we're the ones that like our whole thing is about right. Nuck if you buck, son. Nuck if you buck. But we are the ones that will protect you. We're the ones that will defend you and defend ourselves. But at the same time, we want we only do it if we have to, and you know, and we will defend what we feel is right to our last. But we would rather be making love to you, and we would rather be in a place of happiness and contentment, opposed to a place of war. But we're not afraid of that. Yes, your yes will definitely turn me on, Bear. And not only your yes, your openness to what I want to do. You know, because my thing is with if if I ever get to the point where I'm sexually with someone, I want you to want to be there, and I want you to want me to be there. So not only your yes, but your openness and your willingness to allow us to enjoy each other is what turns me on. And when someone is begging, well, it's not. That's a sign of weakness. I like strength. I like strength in women. I like strength in men. Y'all, a love fantasy of mine, just between us 17 people in this chat room right now. Um, a little secret of mine. I always liked it older um, men and women because I've always thought that it is. I know what I'm doing as far as sexually. I always have known what I was doing. I've always been curious and always done research and things and practice things and whatever case may be. But I've always found it arousing as a younger person to like older people was not to have them call me daddy, although they're old enough to be my mother or father. To me, that just turned me on. To be able to take control of someone in that aspect and have them lose themselves into you and allow you to do what you want to do, and they call you, daddy, while they're old enough to be your parental guardian. I just found it very, very, very sexy and attractive. Yeah, Aries can definitely keep secrets to protect you. But yeah, that was just y'all keep this secret now. Although all y'all not Aries. But yeah, it's just that I mean, like I've always been attracted to people. I mean, I don't know, like being like that's why I like people bigger than me. Although I'm still 6'3", 225 pounds. I'm a pretty big person. I was having a conversation with someone today at work, and he's like probably 5'6", and he always making little stupid comments toward me. Well, it's not like if I've been over, he'd be like, damn, but bit over again, or I knew you were ready. First of all, you don't sit your little ass down somewhere. First of all, no. And so he was telling me how he had somebody that he was with recently. I should say that was like 6'3", an ex football player was not, and he was like, well, it surprised me that he was so willing and able to, saying accept me to be inside him. I'm like, first of all, I don't care about that. So I don't care because you're not attractive. So that has nothing to do with me. But like I like a dominant aspect of my personality, but it's more of a passionate aspect of my personality than a dominant aspect. Or a little bit of both. I don't know. I know I like them big. What did you say? Hold on. I was talking. My eyes was closed. I was fantasizing about something. At 48, older men are not arousing. Mm-mm. See, but the thing is, the blue pill. The blue pill. Yeah, I never needed that. I don't think I ever will. I don't know about that bear. I don't know about Scorpios and Aries. I don't know. Like, I'm not a big zodiac sign person. I recently just started getting into my own zodiac sign because of people I'm hanging out with here on YouTube. They're really into zodiac signs, well, it's not, and they know a lot about it. So I just been doing a lot of research on my zodiac sign. You know what I'm saying? To see if they can actually see me. Texas always making people holler. People Texas always make people holler and screaming. Texas is a mess. I love it to death. I love it. But you okay? Yep. But yeah, it's just. I mean, it's something that is. I don't know. But I know. I mean, I've been doing a lot of research on my zodiac sign, and I think that a lot of my zodiac sign is that my compatibility is with like Leos and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure about Sagittarius, not Sagittarius. What is it again? Scorpios or not? But you a Scorpio, Bear? Ooh, Y'all Stinger is some serious. You're so silly, Tassie. You said that's just something about seeing gray hair on balls turn to dead ones. Oh, oh, God, Jesse, you're a mess. I can't deal with you, baby. but thing is, but thing is, mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't think that. The thing is, I think that everyone should groom themselves to be them best selves. I don't want to see gray hairs anywhere on your chest, on your arms. Although I have gray hair on my arms, but I had gray hair since I was 18 years old though. On my I had gray hair on my head since I was 18. Like my nephew now, he's like 24, 25, and he has gray hair as well. Like we all like somehow every man in my family have gray hair at an early age. See, you dye people's balls now, baby. Don't be dye people's balls. You a Leo there? Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like attraction is something like you really can't really define in two coherent words. I think. Yeah, I mean, I've had gray hair since I was 18. I had gray hair since I was 18 on my head. Also my nephew have gray hair. Like now, like it's a nice salt and pepper. If I let it grow out, it's a nice salt and pepper. Well, it's not, but since my hair is curly, if I let it grow out, it's like crazy. If I think like I have more gray hair on my head now than my husband does, and he's 4 years older than I am, so it's like funny. He used to laugh at me that I had more gray hair on my head than he do, and now he's getting gray hair. He's starting to like, oh, I got a gray hair now. I got a gray hair. Oh well, get over it. I've been had it. You're late. Catch up. Jesse, you a mess. You say you started crying when you went to the bathroom with a mirror and a flashlight. I had it's part of aging. It is part of real tears. It's part of aging. You know, I think I haven't done that yet. I haven't had that yet. I haven't had that experience. I just have gray hair on my head. I've had that experience to have gray hair other places yet. I'll put my arms, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this was part of aging last night, and to me, like I said, I think that I've also always thought that older men was distinguished, and I think that I think one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen is like Nancy Wilson to me. I think she's beautiful. I think that like I always like older people. I think because I have an old spirit, I have an old soul, and I think that's what the attraction is. That's why I don't. That's why I think I'm more stable than most people. It's not that I choose to hang out with whatever because I think that I am that calming force in my group of friends. Although I'm also that force that saying that don't mind getting with you. You lucky, Shaquila, baby. You are so lucky. We're the same age. I'm 44 as well. I'm 44 as well. Trim that stuff down and keep that down in the house, like you said. It won't be seen. It won't be seen. Exactly, Bear. For here's a acceptable trade off if you want to live a long life. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I don't let small things like that bother me. What do you think me for, Shaquila, baby? What do you think me for? It's inedible. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But yeah. So bringing all this back to attraction was not like people are attracted to different things. Whatever. Like my thing is, I'm attracted to maturity. Like maturity is something that I find extremely attractive and extremely sexy. And the fact that I am silly and corny and love every minute of me being myself was not. I'm also very serious and very thoughtful and thought provoking and things like that. And I think that being able to have the duality of both is something that saying a lot of people lack. You have one or the other. You don't have the common sense that you need in order to do what it is that you need to do. You know, and to truly be yourself. You know, and all I pictured right now was Tessie in a negligee with having long gray hairs hanging from all kind of places. That's all I picture. Told you I'm very visual. Tessie is a mess. Oh, oh yeah. I mean, well, thing is, I mean, it's a blessing, but sooner or later, like I don't think anybody, I don't think my brother have gray hair yet. He's older than me as well. Oh, I don't know because he's bald and he's been bald for shit decades. Two things I are razors and rubbers. What else sort of are razors and don't know, don't know. But yeah, but the attraction was not like. I mean, it really is about saying you just like it is what it is. Like with me, I can see someone like they're like okay, well most people wouldn't find them attractive with that, but I can find something in everyone that I find attractive. Now, if I am sexually attracted to you, was not that's something totally different. But I can find me being an artist, me being a designer and stuff like that was not. I can see that it's found very unattractive. But if you have a nasty personality, well, it's not. I can do nothing for that. I can make the physical attractive, but other than that, I can't make anything else attractive on you or to you or about you. Wise, but other than that, the physical, I go with that. I can definitely work with the physical attraction, but anything else, I can't work with that. But you guys, this has been so real. This has been a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I want to thank you guys for being here with me. Thank you guys for talking with me and conversing with me. I have a lot of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks or so, or days or so, I should say, that is interesting and different. You know what I'm saying? But I just pray and hope and wish that you guys will continue to be on this journey with me. And thank you so much for being on the journey with me. I'm deeply humbled and deeply honored that you guys are um, chose to tune in and to connect with me and subscribe. If you haven't have subscribed, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you for liking this video. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I know you can be anywhere. You chose to be here. I appreciate that for you. Yeah, you guys. As I always say, not everything that I say is meant for you to ingest in its totality. I do wish that you guys have a great evening. I can always say, eat the meat, spit out the bones. Um, because it is definitely um, little things that I say that is meant to help people to be their best self. And as I always say, love yourself, love someone else, respect yourself, and respect someone else. I definitely will love live soon there. And thank you. Good night to you, Tessie. Hugs to you, Indigo Boo, Shaquila. You have a great day as well, sweetheart. Y'all have a wonderful evening, you guys. And I will talk to you later. Until then, peace, you guys. Love ya. Bye.